Hey, what's up? This is an iPhone. It has a great camera, but it has a lousy camera application. And that's why I'm going to show you my 3 favorite free camera applications in 2025. If you want to get at least a little bit serious about filming with your iPhone, you need to have a third-party camera app, because only third-party camera apps will give you access to manual features such as white balance, ISO, shutter speed, and other crucial features that will make your footage consistent, professional, and outstanding. The 3 apps that I'm going to speak about here are entirely free of charge. The FinalCut Cam by Apple, the Blackmagic Camera App, and last but not least, the Mavis 7 Camera App, which is a little bit less known than the Blackmagic Camera App and maybe also the FinalCut Cam, but maybe there's a little surprise. The FinalCut Cam by Apple is something like the new kid on the block when it comes to camera apps, because it has been released only in 2024 and it gives you very Apple-like access to the most important features, but not much more. Everything wrapped in a comprehensive user interface, which is, even for beginners, I would say, easy to use and easy to understand. So you have access to the white balance with even some presets that you might have, the exposure, and also here you can choose and change the shutter speed, the ISO value, and then you have the possibility to switch from autofocus to manual focus, all the things that you need to have at least some consistent footage that you might want to have. If you dig a little bit deeper in the settings itself, you have under preferences, you have the possibility to choose a codec, the possibility to change the format, 720p, 1080p, 4K, and different frame rates, of course, which is more or less a standard that you would expect. Then, of course, color and dynamic range, SDR, HLG, or log file, which is also possible. Not much more possibilities, but should be enough actually to have a decent result. I'm a little bit disappointed actually when it comes to the audio section, because here you can, without any problems, switch between connected devices. But, and that's one of the biggest caveats for me, there is no possibility to have any audio monitoring on the FinalCut Cam. Another caveat also is that you have the level meters, which are pretty tiny. So they could be definitely much bigger, or at least if I would click on them, they should be a little bit bigger so that I can really have a good control over what I'm filming and the audio levels that I'm filming here. The Blackmagic Camera App is clearly a feature beast. They were putting basically everything in there what even professional users might want to have. And that means, of course, you have access to the shutter speed, you have the possibility to switch your white balance with certain presets, ISO, etc., etc. All these things are really the basics, but here you can go so much further. You have very comprehensive and very good audio levels that you might have and might need. You have a histogram. You have the possibility to fine-tune what you see on the screen with focus peaking, zebra, and all the different possibilities that you might need to have a good and decent image. And if you just simply go into the settings, then you will understand very quickly how really professional this app is. Not only that you have different codecs, resolutions, color spaces, even P3 by the way in this case, but also timecode display, time-lapse recording, so many different features. The audio section is more than complete, with the possibility not only to choose the audio source, but if by chance you want to record with your iPhone, you can choose even the microphone, which is in the iPhone itself. And what I personally love so much is actually that you have the possibility also to switch on the audio monitoring. And there you can even choose what audio output you want to use, which is great because it gives you really full control over it. You can even upload your own LUTs simply to film in the best way possible, bake them right away into your video, or just simply have them as a display LUT. Well, and last but not least, let's come to the Mavis 7 Camera App. The Mavis 7 app gives you access to all the features that you might need to have, and this in a very comprehensive and easy way. And what I like really a lot is this floating island that you can even float here over the iPhone surface. They have instantly access to the most important features, exposure, white balance, other tools, etc. And that really makes it so easy and enjoyable to use also, that I would say I love actually using this application simply because of the user interface. One of the nice things about the Mavis 7 app is that you have also different presets that you can save. So just as in the Blackmagic Camera app, If you want to be really quick, then you create your presets and you save them, you reload them, and you're ready to go. The audio section in the Mavis 7 app is also very good. So you can see that you have here an audio level meter, which is very detailed and very good. Luckily, you can switch also the audio monitoring, which makes it possible also to record interviews in a decent quality here with the Mavis 7 app. If you're going into the settings here, you can see that you have quite a lot of settings here where you can fine-tune also the app, but it's not as detailed as in the Blackmagic Camera app, but for sure much more detailed than compared to the FinalCut Cam. The Mavis 7 app is completely free of charge, but you can also choose for a paid version if you want to have more audio inputs. You can record with an external audio interface indeed up to 8 different audio channels, which is pretty outstanding because as far as I know, there is no other camera app outside on this market which can record up to 8 individual audio sources as an ISO recording also in addition. There is so far no possibility on the Mavis 7 app to record straight on an external SSD, which is really a bummer because especially with the audio section, this app would be perfect if we would want to set up some kind of multi-camera setup. This with the internal recording would be very difficult, especially if you want to switch for professional formats like ProRes. Another caveat of the application is the fact that simply you cannot for the moment upload any individual LUTs. So if you're filming in log, you will film in log, you will see log, but you don't have the possibility to display any LUT to make your life a little bit easier. Now, which one is the best one? I cannot tell you which one is the best one because it really largely depends on your personal preference and on your project preference. For instance, the FinalCut Cam is not very feature-rich. It's easy to use. It's free of charge, of course, and it gives you the possibility, if you are using an iPad with FinalCut, to have a multi-camera setup and record straight away a multicam project on your iPad. That's something that doesn't work with any of the other camera apps. So that's great. And in addition, if you don't want to use that, well, at least you have access to the most important manual features as a camera app. It's easy to use, so even beginners will not have really any problems using it. But the biggest caveat for me is and remains the missing audio monitoring, which kind of disqualifies it for me for recording any kind of interviews with it, unfortunately. The Blackmagic Camera app is such a feature monster, such a feature beast, that it's almost even overwhelming for those people who don't have too much experience or those people who would like to film very quickly something and have to rely on a comprehensive and easy to use user interface. The unique selling proposition of the Blackmagic Camera app is clearly simply the feature richness that it has, and then at the same time also the integration through the Blackmagic Cloud into the universe of DaVinci Resolve, Blackmagic Cloud, etc. That's something which is great, plus also the possibility to have a multi-camera setup where with one camera, with one iPhone, you can control different Blackmagic Camera apps which are in the same network. That's something which is pretty outstanding. Very interesting idea if you want to film certain events or multi-camera setups. And last but not least, the Mavis 7 app. For me, this is kind of the best compromise between having a lot of features, but not too much, and on the other hand, having a great user interface which makes it so easy to use for each and every one and also to learn and still achieve professional results. And that's why at the end of the day, which app would I personally use? This is purely subjective, of course. But I, for the moment, love really to use the Mavis 7 app because it gives me access to all the features that I need, but still the user interface is such a pleasure to use that I absolutely enjoy using it. If you liked what you see, I would be more than happy if you would like, subscribe, follow, send me a comment and share your thoughts with me. That would be great. So far, I guess it was a longer video here. Thanks for your patience and hope to see you very soon for the next video. And now I know that you can do it.